Okay, so it seems like this guy's the topic of conversations again, and by conversations I do mean trades. Now, I don't know how possible it is that Anthony Davis will be traded by the Dallas Mavericks, but there are conversations happening currently with Anthony Davis and multiple teams. One being not only the Miami Heat, but a team being the Chicago Bulls. Now, I like Anthony Davis, right? The only gripe that people seem to have with Anthony Davis year after year is his health. Now, Anthony Davis has been healthy somewhat for this Dallas Maverick team early on this year, right? He did have a few games where he did miss and things like that. Now, we know when Davis is playing, he's one of the top elite, not only defensive players in the league, but he can be an offensive threat as well. Now, the teams that I've mentioned, right? Let's just run off a few teams. Let's talk about these two teams that are posted, and that is the Miami Heat. Now, if you are the Miami Heat and you do go after a player like Davis, now, if you elect to trade for Anthony Davis, that means you're going to have to give up some young pieces and try to keep your core, which is guys like Norman Powell. You will want to keep Tyler Hero and also Bam Adebayo. So, a trade to Miami will ultimately probably look like Anthony Davis being traded and joining those guys as well. So I'm looking at a team in the Miami Heat where we know Pat Riley hasn't had the best track record with trading for superstars, especially well into their career. So we'll see how this goes. I think the best option may be the Chicago Bulls on paper, just thinking about expiring contracts, and that being, Vucevic and Kobe White. And I think the Chicago Bulls would want to get from under their contracts by all means, and especially if they can get something in return. Now, I get it. Anthony Davis is a Chicago guy. He's from the area, and it would be a good come home story and things like that. Now, if you are the Bulls, that means you would ultimately say Josh Giddey teams up with Anthony Davis and things like that. Now, like I said, Davis is one of those guys. So you would go Josh Giddey. You would ultimately say Matas Buzelis, and in some sense of that role where that's the three you would go forward with, right? Now, a dark horse. This is very, very dark, and this is the reunion of Anthony Davis back with the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, don't quote me, but I've heard rumors about that may be a possibility. Now, what that trade would look like, I don't know, but of course with the Lakers, they're always going to shop for superstars and superstar players. Now, they did get Luka Doncic in exchange for Anthony Davis, but they basically sent Anthony Davis and Luka Doncic. That trade was that was one of those trades where it really didn't shake the grounds as far as picks and things like that. So maybe that is on the table. But what I will say is the best option maybe currently for the Dallas Mavericks is see where this goes, right? See where this ultimately goes with Davis, and wait till Kyrie comes back. I feel like they've been playing much, much better since Davis has been back. I don't know if a trade is on the table, but again, like I said, you never know in today's NBA. Guys are always on the move. There's only but so many untouchable players in the NBA, and Anthony Davis is not one of them. We know he's been on the move from New Orleans to LA, now LA to Dallas. So I could see a scenario where he may be traded before or after the deadline, but excuse me, not after the deadline, but before the trade line or close to it. It could be a scenario. It depends. But again, Mark Cuban has went on record since being back into the fold with the Dallas Mavericks and said Anthony Davis will not be traded. And if you guys know, when execs and things like that speak on players not being traded, they're ultimately traded. So let me know what you guys think.